The Warriors have been linked with Jimmy Butler. The only reason he's not coming is because he doesn't want to do an extension.
That? Is that the ultimate? Is that the ultimate right there? Of the media
he
always tells you when you're
he doesn't
done.
play their style. I mean, it's like he doesn't play their style, pace and space. He's not going to pass or cut. That's a big part of their whole game is pass and cut, pass and cut. He doesn't want to pass or cut. So I mean, what do you?
And I don't like Jimmy, but when he tells you, like, everybody wants to bury the Warriors, right? They want to be the person to put the shovel on the coffin of the Warriors, like they did the Patriots and the Spurs, and everybody proclaims, screaming A and everybody, it's over, it's over, it's over. When Jimmy Butler, the most toxic player in the league, says, I don't want you, that means it's over. Like the media doesn't need to tell you when it's over. The players will. Because 3, 4, 5 years ago, Jimmy Butler would have walked from Miami to Northern California to get to this team. Now the Heat have no leverage. He's a child. And you say, hey, Jimmy, we want you. We might even give you that extension you're looking for at age 35. And Jimmy goes, nah,
the Warriors just don't understand how Steph is going to win another title. They want Steph to win another title, but they don't understand how it potentially could happen. And since they're so in the mode of kissing ass to their players and honoring their players and worshiping their players, that they can't be real at the same time about those same players. And that's their weakness right now. The Warriors keep talking about getting another player around Steph. And there's no question they need another player around Steph. Jimmy Butler's not it. Why? He's too old. Kevin Durant is not it. Why? He's too old. LeBron James is not it. Why? He's too old. Paul George is not it. Why? He's too old. So that's the problem. They keep going for stars, but they keep going for old stars. And I understand it because they're looking for somebody who's on the same timeline as Steph Curry. But that's not what they should be looking for. What they should be looking for are young stars whose value currently is way, way lower than their potential upside could be.
The problem with them, though, they don't have anybody. Like the Lakers at least had Anthony Davis to make the Luka move. They don't have it.
Like the Warriors have like 6 expiring contracts.
Right. But they don't have a guy where a team would say, you know what, I would do that deal. Like we overvalue Kuminga. He's still a ways away. Like I said, Joe's fingerprints are all over this stuff because he overvalues Kuminga because he's not a basketball guy. He overvalues Podziemski. He overvalues all his own players because what he really is, and he shouldn't be running the franchise. And this is why you don't run the franchise as an owner, because you're a fanboy. And it's like fantasy, and it's like, I'm going to move this guy for this guy and this guy for this guy. Well, you're hard capped and you've got to become within 25% and $100,000 of the move, and it doesn't work. And financially, you're trying to say that you want to save money. Like all these moves are now coming back to bite them. Getting nothing for Chris Paul, deciding that Jordan Poole and Draymond Green couldn't exist, blowing those 3 lottery picks. You can't do those things in basketball. In football, because there's 7 rounds, you can maybe have a bad draft or two. But after a while, that's what we're seeing with the Niners too, is they've recovered with this last year draft. But 22 and 23, when they didn't have a first-round pick and they took Jake Moody in the 3rd round and Jair Brown is not looking great, and we've looked down it. I mean, Brock Purdy is the only thing out of the 22 draft entirely. And then you ask yourself how Philadelphia, Detroit, and the Rams passed you with great drafts. That's why, because professional sports are not forgiving. And if you basically go on vacation for 3 years in the draft like the Niners did, or if you go on vacation like the Warriors do, what do people always tell you in business? If you're not getting better and you're staying the same, people are catching up. So if you're standing still and people are running, they're going to pass you. Well, everybody's running past the Warriors, and teams in the NFC are running past the Niners. You can't have, as great as you can be, you cannot have an off 2 or 3 years in free agent signings and in drafts.
Well, you could miss on 2 picks. Happened. You can miss on 2 picks. You can't miss on 10.
Yeah, you can. But that's where but we can look at both teams and it's similar. But in the Warriors situation, because you just don't get many things, many opportunities, where the Warriors are, and this is strange to say, but you either need to be really good or really bad. Because if you're really bad, then you have all these picks, and the concept is you can get the better players down there, or you have to be really good. Purgatory in sports is the middle. Purgatory in sports is not the bottom, because you have assets to get better. purgatory is where the Warriors are. Not bad enough to be in the lottery, not bad enough to get the best players. And in the NBA, there's only a couple every single year. If that, you get really lucky if you get somebody at 10. This year with the Niners picking 11, it's like I expect the Niners to get a really, really good player at 11. You can't say that in the NBA draft. So if you're not at the top, and the Warriors just proved it, 2-7-14, they have, I'm not going to say nothing to show for it, but well, in Wiseman's case, they have nothing to show for it. But you cannot get those opportunities, have a 15-win season, handed the second overall pick in the draft, LaMelo Ball's on the board, and you take James Wiseman with 69 minutes of college ball action and just dominated because of his size. Like, that's the move you made. Or Kuminga, who is incredibly raw, instead of Wagner, who you saw at Michigan could play. You cannot make those mistakes time and time again. You cannot lose Chris Paul for nothing. You cannot say that Brandon Podziemski, when you have a chance to get Markkanen in deal, is the deal breaker for him. Even though he hasn't had a good year, Podziemski's untouchable. He's the 7th or 8th guy in your team. He's not untouchable. So those mistakes are now coming home to roost. And Joe, as you astutely pointed out, does not have basketball people in place to make these moves. And now he's panicking and calling all these teams, reporting to Shams today. He's calling the Lakers about LeBron. He's calling the Suns about Durant, who are trying to get Butler themselves. He's scrambling all over the league. Where were you earlier this year? Where were you last offseason? When I mean, could you imagine, Krug, they could have been worse. Could you imagine if they had gotten Paul George and traded Kuminga in the way that Paul George is done?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like every one of these older players is a freaking dead end. Stop even talking about LeBron. I mean, get LeBron's name out of your mouth.
Right.
Get Paul George. Everybody who's north of 32, pretend they died. Don't pretend they're dead, because they are dead as far as you're concerned.
Pretend they died.
Don't even. Sorry, Joe, we can't trade for him. He's dead.
Wait, I didn't hear about that. Yeah, it just happened.
Yeah, he died. He's 32 now, Joe. He's fucking dead. The NBA Central Twitter account says that the Warriors are showing interest in Zion Williamson and LaMelo Ball, according to Brett Siegel, who covers the NBA. And the quote was, the Warriors have made it their priority to get Steph Curry more help in order to make a serious playoff run late in his career, resulting in several superstar talents emerging as trade targets. Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, LaMelo Ball are among the vast group of all-star talents that the Dubs have internally discussed before the trade deadline. So I know they're discussing everything internally, but I mean, these names at least make sense. LaMelo Ball's 23. And if you want Steph to, last longer, get somebody who's really good, not Dennis Schroeder, on the ball, like LaMelo Ball, and play Steph off the ball as more of a 2 to LaMelo's 1. That actually is a game plan. Getting Zion Williamson, who just got a new agent. His agent is Walnut Creek's own Bill Duffy. Maybe you get Zion to cut down some of that muscle mass, trim down, recommit, show up in camp next year 25 pounds lighter. If Zion Williamson showed up in camp in the greatest shape of his life at age 26, that would probably help Steph get a title. If LaMelo Ball became just an epic point guard and was a spectacular player opposite Steph's brilliant shooting, and they worked together seamlessly with Draymond, maybe Steph gets a title there. That's a 23-year-old, a 24-year-old with tons of potential that get in the right spot, get inspired, get in shape, show up, and have everything go right. And all of a sudden, hey, guess what? You won a title. It can be done, but that's how it's going to be done. It's not going to be done by adding LeBron. It's not going to be done by adding Jimmy Butler. It's not going to be done by adding Paul George. Steph's old, so let's add somebody else who's really old. I mean, that doesn't. I know on some level that registers with people, but it's not. It doesn't really work when you're talking about foundation pieces. You need a blend of young and old, and they've got the old heads. They need some guys who can take it to the hole. I mean, they got a bunch of guys who want to camp on the perimeter.
I have a weird feeling because the thing is, again, I'm going to go back to they didn't tell LeBron the steal was going down. They're two ball dominant players that don't fit. And clearly getting Luka. Just the thing that should piss people off, and all these people who were not understanding what this trade is about. It's about the Adelson Group, who now owns the Mavericks and has owned them since December of 2023, not understanding that there's a rule in the NBA for other teams in the Western Conference. You don't make the Lakers better. Mark Cuban knows that. He would have never made this deal. And I don't know what the beef is between the Mavericks and Luka, but it's over. But what's going to happen is Steph is either going to get traded in the offseason, as I said, and there's going to be a big PR thing, and it's going to be nice and everything. He's so great, and he's going to come back in a couple of years. Or, like you said, I think LeBron's going to get shopped, because I think that short term the Mavericks could be better. But again, you just hit the reset button on the Lakers for the next 12 to 15 years. Just when we were about ready with the countdown to send LeBron off, the Lakers just got relevant again. And that's what the people are like, well, Anthony Davis is really good. He is. But you just gave them a superstar in his prime, and you just hit up on Zion Williamson. You watch. Luka's got this pasty skin, and he's been eating a bunch of Texas barbecue. He's going to trade it in for some salmon, a nice salad, a kale shake. He's going to get some vitamin D, and all of a sudden, Luka hasn't even reached his pinnacle yet. He's 25. He's going to get better, and he just carried the Mavericks to the NBA Finals. Like, it blows my mind they did that. But back to the LeBron and Luka don't fit. So if LeBron wants to play beyond this year, it won't be for the Lakers, because they already have their dominant one guy that is impossible to find. That number one guy for your team, the Steph Curry, the LeBron James, the Kevin Durant. It's impossible, the Giannis. It's impossible nearly to find that guy, and the Lakers were just gifted that guy. So now what that did to the Warriors is I'm sure Curry called Joe and said, "Where's my Luka? Where's my guy?" Like, the Lakers did it. Where's my guy? And Joe's freaking out and scrambling all over the place, and he can't find them because they don't exist, and you don't get them, and they don't get handed on a platter to you. So I think that Luka is actually going to be better. He's only 25. He's not even in shape. He looks like Mahomes on the basketball court. He's a total dad bod. He jumps around. He flops like a fish. He's worried about everything, but he's going to go there and get dedicated, and he's going to be a great player, and everyone's going to go, oh, that's why you don't trade guys like that in their prime. But what's going to happen, and it's the part that's scary, is what you said, is LeBron's going to go, it's not my team anymore. It's not my ball anymore. Luka needs players around him who can shoot. LeBron needs to dominate the ball and players around him that can shoot. Luka's going to go, give me the ball, LeBron. Go get open somewhere. LeBron's not a shooter. So, the Lakers this year might not be as what everybody thinks they're going to be, but when they get rid of LeBron, put the right players around Luka, he can carry him to a finals, and then LeBron's going to be sitting out there. And what do you think Draymond and Curry are going to do? Joe, either get us LeBron, or we want out. That's going to be the summer, and then it's going to be up to Joe, who I think is going to say, well, Chase is the place that Curry built. I got to go get him LeBron. And now we're stuck with LeBron. I can just see that this offseason. LeBron and Curry for one final run and all the marketing around it. I'll root
against it. I'll root against them. I'm a lifelong Warrior fan. I was a World B. Free fan. I was a Bernard King fan. If LeBron shows up, I will root against the Warriors that year.
Will? No, you
I will. I'll be a Kings fan for a year. I'll light the beam. I'll light the fucking beam.
That's what I think is going to happen. I really think that's going to happen. Either they're going to trade Curry and have to, that's going to be a real fun thing, and do all the spin around it, because Steph's like, I'm not playing on this mediocre team. He's already said it publicly. And then, or it's going to be the ball ain't big enough for both Luka and LeBron. We know that. They've made their choice. They're both ball dominant. LeBron's going to get traded, and Steph is going to go to Joe and go, either you trade me or you get me LeBron. That's it.
Can I make? I don't make a lot of predictions. I need to do more predictions.
Yeah, come on, do more predictions. That equals big ratings.
I'm going to do a prediction. And I'm folding up a piece of paper so I can use it as a prop.
What, like Johnny Carson used to do?
Yeah,
there you go.
Is it the great like Karnak? That, or do I have to?
The great Krug? I think it was Was it the great Karnak?
I forget exactly what he did with the paper, but
somebody just said Larry hates the beam. They're not buying it for a second.
Seriously, I do hate the beam. If my Warriors, Joe, listen to me and listen to me good. You add LeBron, you lose Kruger.
That's all right. Good. That's not a good
all
trade.
Right? You want to trade? You want to add LeBron and lose Kruger? Maybe it's a 2-for-1. Maybe you're getting both. Maybe you're getting 2-for-1. You're getting rid of Kruger and you're adding LeBron. This Warrior fandom is not big enough for me and LeBron.
It's either
me or it's LeBron. If it's LeBron, You can't have me. I'm going to the beam. If it's me, then we go forward. We're very happy. God bless you. Bless everybody. Good luck, Warriors. So LeBron, it's time for me to go light the beam.
So you could maybe next to the Krug light back there, maybe put a little Kings light or something, or a small one, just to indicate to everybody you're a Kings fan. That would be cool. You and Logan Webb could go to games. I got a friend that lives down the street that's got court sides.
Dude, I'll start.
You want to go to the Kings game? I'm like, no, I don't. I don't want to go.
I'll head out to Rockland just for the hell of it.